First, I'd like to welcome all of you here today. Today we have wonderful speakers and discussant also, three of them. I think first speaker will be Sejong Oh. He's the director of the IBIS, Institute for Basic Science, and also Kenji Ueda from Riken. Riken, as you know, is one of the leading research institute in Japan as well as in the world. And also then we have the Dr. Kim Yong-min from post-president, current president, and also Dr. Lee Hee-guk. He's the president of the LG Corporation in Korea. Then we have the Ursula Detlef. Dr. Detlef is from Gdansk, Poland University, and he's been around for Max Planck and many other world-leading research institutes. Before Professor Oh starts, I'd like to show through just 2 slides. It's very interesting, as you can see here. This is Korea and U.S. We start from U.S. here. $133 billion. This amount of research fund they are using for. And Japan, $32 billion. Korea is 7.6. China is 13.53. And Germany is $21.2 billion. And England is 18 billion, and France is about 20 billion. Korea is the 7th largest R&D funding in the world. This is a little bit older one, but I think the rank is about the same. The reason I'm showing is that in spite of all this huge amount of research fund we spent, the result seems relatively poor. Why? We know, I think, because we start late. So this is kind of things very new, recent one from Nature. This brightness covers the research activity. As you could see here, compared with Japan and European countries and United States, we are very poor, unfortunately. I think we are sort of point, the takeoff stage now. Our previous investment is a basis, and Dr. Oh going to tell us how we are planning, what kind of things we are planning. So I think that will really change our research sort of attitude and facilities and atmosphere here. Then I think we'll hear from Dr. Ueda how Japan struggled and become one of the leading nations in the world, having 16 Nobel Prize winners just for this year, for altogether. So I think we have to learn much from him. So we'll hear from 2 speakers and their things today, and then after that we will go on to the discussion. Thank you. I will introduce Dr. Oh. Dr. Oh is my friend for some time. He's a physicist. He did the PhD in physics in 1982 from Stanford University. Then he been various research positions, visiting professors and all those, and he settled as professor at Seoul National University. Recently, he assumed a very important, very important position in Korea. He's a director of the research planning kind of things, IBS we call. And he's really injecting enormous energies and resources for the quantum jump for the future in Korean science. I would, Dr. Oh, please.
Okay, thank you for the nice introduction. Actually, one correction, the relationship between me and Professor Cho is not friends. It's more like a mentor and mentee. I respect him very much. Okay, what I'm going to tell you about today is that the talent and basic science in the knowledge-based society. The first I will describe briefly the characteristic of knowledge-based society and the importance of top talent in our society. And then I will look at the situation in Korea, the major issues and key policy directions of Korea to meet this challenge in the 21st century. And then I'll make a brief introduction to IBS, Institute for Basic Science. This is not a broadcasting company. This is it's not like KBS or SBS. It's actually Institute for Basic Science. It's a new government initiative to vitalize basic science and then to foster and train young scientists in Korea. Actually, you probably know that we are very good in applied and commercial technologies, so that we are among the top in the world as a manufacturer of semiconductors and mobile phones and cars and things like that. But as you know, we do not have any Nobel Prize winners yet, so the basic science is kind of not at the level of the world top class. So, but the paradigm should change. We should what we call the fast follow approach, that we just look at what advanced countries do and follow and imitate their technologies. Now we have to move from the position to the leader or first mover, meaning that we should actually invent new technologies and discover new truths, facts about the nature, so that we can be really among the advanced countries. So the establishment of IBS, which is only a little bit less than 1 year ago, was kind of a big, ambitious attempt to make that transition. So I'll try to explain it a little bit, and then I'll close. Okay. Everyone knows that the 21st century is the knowledge-based society. And we are actually rapidly progressing into the knowledge-based society. And in the knowledge-based society, the source of competition of business is not the tangible assets like labor or capital, but intangible assets like intellectual property. For example, if you look at the market value of Apple, the total market value is estimated to be around $200 billion US dollars, but 90% of them are thought to be from intangible assets like brand name and intellectual properties and things like that. And the portion of intellectual property within the intangible assets also rose very rapidly. So it consists of maybe around 50% nowadays. It's not only true for Apple, but also for other big companies like the S&P 500. In 2005, the intangible assets is considered to be constitute about 80% of the total market value. So as a result, the royalty and license fee has increased quite dramatically, and also at the same time, patent disputes, especially involving non-practicing entity and innovative companies, have become more frequent. You all are aware of the worldwide court battle between Samsung and Apple, and the stake is more than $1 billion. But it will become more frequent in the future. And in the past, actually, Kodak and Polaroid had a similar battle, and the Kodak lost about $3 billion because of the intellectual property. So intellectual property is very important for the companies, especially the technologically cutting-edge companies. And then how can they get the really valuable IP? They must come from smart people working in the company. So the smart people is very important for top talent, for the company, as well as for the society. And also, if you look at really disruptive original technologies like a smartphone, most of them come from basic research. In one study, they show that if you analyze the patents filed in the United States, 70% of references they quote are from the result of publication supported by government fund. So basic research is actually at the core, at the root of the new inventions and new technologies. And as you can see in the mobile phone, not only basic science in natural sciences, also humanities and social science are becoming more and more important, which is called convergence nowadays. So talent, the smart people are very important in knowledge-based society. And what kind of people we want as a smart people, and as the environment of the 21st century is that the key features are globalization. So the world is in the one same, is quite close to each other now, and convergence of technologies, and the rapid change of technologies. So those are key features of new future society. And so the talents who can make a big contribution in the society should be equipped with profound understanding of basic science, innovative mind, along with creativity, communication skill, and global leadership. So those are the key characteristics that the top talents in the future society should learn and be equipped with. And since the top talents are a very vital part of the society as well as the company, there is a global competition to recruit top talents in the world. So the Microsoft has the saying that only the best survives through the global competition, and McKinsey & Company declared that 21st century will be the era of war for talent. And so many countries make up policies to train talent and also attract talents from abroad. For example, United States had American Competitiveness Initiative, and China has 985 program, which aim to train their talents from within their country. And China had the recruitment program of global experts, and Korea also had the WCU project, which tried to attract people, top talents from abroad. Now, that's the basic picture landscape of the world in the 21st century. Now, how does Korea do to meet these challenges? So I look at these major issues and key policy directions of Korea. First, the current status of human resources in science and technology. In quantity, we are not doing too badly. In fact, that if you look at the total researchers in 1,000 labor force, Korea has 10.7 total researchers per 1,000 labor force, which is more than OECD average of 7.2, and is in fact the fifth in the world. But the problem is the quality. That if you look at this, the human resources and technology supply and demand, we are expected to have more bachelors and masters than we need, but we expect a shortage of doctors. And also, as people mentioned several times, that there are no Nobel Prize winners in Korea. That means we do not have really super top talents in human resources and science technology. And also, another problem is that brain drain has been steadily aggravated in Korea, actually. We are exporting more students than importing them from abroad. And the brain drain index, which shows the tendency to have a brain drain or brain gain, in 1995, we were not bad, fourth in the world. And then in 2011, 15 years later, we are 44th in the world among 55 countries they studied by IMDA. And also, in 1990, in the late 90s, 45% of PhD who got degrees from United States want to stay in the States, but now the ratio is more than two-thirds, close to 70% want to remain in the United States rather than coming back to Korea. So also the foreign students we have, among foreign students, 90%, more than 90% are from Asian countries, not from advanced countries in Europe or America. So if you look at these numbers, we are facing serious problem in human resources and top talents in science and technology. So what we have to do, government is trying to improve the science education in K-12, middle school and high school and elementary school. In fact, that if you look at achievement level of Korean students in math and science, they are really in the top class. Like there are some tests like PISA conducted by OECD or TIMSS, and in all these tests, the Korea ranked within top 5 in the ability of students in science and math. But what the problem is that the problem is Korean students lack interest in math and science. They do well, but they don't like math and science. So interest in science, in the PISA study, Korean students ranked 55th among 57 countries. So it's really third from the bottom. Maybe one consolation is that Japan is doing as badly as we do. So still we are not very good. Students can solve problems in math and science, but they don't like and they don't have any positive attitude toward math and science. So there is a program going on by government, which is called STEAM education. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, math, and art. And it tries to develop various programs to enhance creativity and problem-solving ability rather than taught memorization. And you are also trying to make a fusion of scientific creativity and artistic sensibility by this STEM education. And also, there's a plan to train highly qualified teachers in math and science. Another problem I mentioned before was the brain drain. When you look at the reason for brain drain, there is a survey conducted among the degree holders in the United States. And we asked why they want to stay in the United States or a foreign country rather than coming back to Korea. One of the main reasons is that they don't think Korea has a good working environment, meaning Korea does not have the world-class universities or research institutes. So we need to develop, establish prestigious university and research institutes in Korea to lure people back to Korea. And in fact, according to some ranking, the only 2 Korean universities are included in the world top 10 universities. And we need to make our Korean university to become world-leading universities with maybe selection and concentration policy. But also, I think it's necessary for the university to collaborate with the research institute, government research institute. The reason is that, for example, if you look at University of California at Berkeley, they have a big government lab called Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, which is really a big portion of the research strengths of the UC Berkeley. So in the same way, we can make Korean university stronger by making collaboration with the research institute. And IBS actually is trying to do that. I will explain it a little bit later. And also, we have to train young scientists. It is important to support creative young researchers and make them grow into world-class researchers. It's well known that about half of the Nobel laureates conducted their award-winning research in their 30s. And then they get the prize after 20 years later. So we need to really improve working conditions and funding opportunities for young researchers. So also we have to fund challenging and creative research program, and then we should let young people fail if they are really trying ambitious program. Right, and I mentioned before that the basic research is quite important part of this, top talents and the intellectual property. And if you look at current status again in Korea, again the quantitatively it's not too bad. For example, Korea published about 40,000 papers in SCCI journals in 2010, which ranked 11th in the world, comparable to our economic size. So we are not doing too badly. But if you look at the average time citation number per paper, meaning that if a paper is cited many times, that means the paper is very good. People look at it, and then they cite their papers. And the average citation number for papers published in Korea is 3.57, which is below the world average of 4.79, and the rank 30th. And that means that we are publishing a lot of papers, but not many people are looking at it. So that meaning that we do not have really the influential, big, important papers yet. And that's why we don't have any Nobel laureates yet. So we have to change our R&D paradigm from catching up, just try to imitate and improve advanced countries' technology, but we have to be a leader and creative and make a new discovery. So we are at the stage that we need to change the paradigm from the catch-up strategy to first mover strategy, and we have to emphasize basic and creative research. But the situation at the moment is not very rosy at the moment. For example, if you look at the investment, R&D investment of the government and private sector, the total investment, if you look at the total investment in R&D, which ranks 7th, as Professor Joe mentioned, in the world, we are investing quite a lot of money actually, even in absolute amount of dollars. But only 18% of them for basic research. But that's natural because the 3/4 of the total R&D expenditure come from the private industry in our country. And private industry naturally are interested in applied and development technology. So because the private industry invests a lot of money in R&D, and they are doing mostly applied and development technology, as a whole country, the basic research portion is smaller. But the problem is that the government R&D funding should complement that and should focus on areas that the private sectors cannot cover, such as infrastructure and trained talents, research for public benefits, and long-term high-risk research and basic science. But even in government R&D budget, only 30%, less than 30% is spent on basic research. That's quite in contrast to advanced countries like United States or United Kingdom. More than 50% are spent on basic research from government funding. We are still, this ratio, 25%, was increased quite rapidly in the last 5 years. Actually, 4 years ago, it was only 18%. Now it's 29%. So we need a very extensive government investment in basic research to make this paradigm shift. And also, we also have to upgrade our support system and funding system, that we have to make the supporting system researcher-friendly and also make it possible to do stable and long-term research. So in technical terms, it is desirable to have a block funding, lump sum budget, long-term research support, but our funding system is not like that yet. So we have to increase the government funding on R&D-based research as well as upgrade our supporting system. So the IBS, Institute for Basic Science, is kind of a bold attempt by government to change this paradigm and meet all these challenges. The background is that, as I mentioned before already, that in the 21st century knowledge-based society, we need basic science as a core competence of the nation. And we also have to do basic research and also block funding and global networking and train young researchers. And IBS is a government initiative to realize or at least address these problems in a single, in a bold way, in effect. And our IBS was established last November, so we are only less than 1 year old. And we have 4 operating principles. One is excellence, that we will recruit really top quality excellent scientists. And then we give these top quality scientists full autonomy so that they can exhibit their creativity and potential fully. And we also will operate our institute in an open way, meaning that we are open to not only to domestic university institutes, but also to foreign institutes. And the organization, the basic building block of IBS is actually research center, which is headed by a prominent scientist called the director. And the director is granted full autonomy and independence to operate the research center. And each research center will conduct collective research in the same location so that they can communicate with each other and make an interdisciplinary study. And the size of the research center varies depending on the theme, but approximately on the average, we are targeting that the research center will have about 50 researching staff, and we will provide about $9 million per year. So the plan is that by the year 2017, we will have 50 research centers. Then our IBS will have about 3,000 research staff and more than $600 million per year as a budget. That's a big investment. And needless to say, as you can see, that the selection of the excellent, capable directors are really key for the success of IBS. So we are paying really full attention to select talented, good, excellent scientists. So we accept application year-round. Also, we get nomination from Science Advisory Board member. And when we evaluate them, excellence of candidates is top priority. And also, we look at the research plan. And the selection committee will conduct peer review, in-depth review, evaluation. And they are composed of more than half will be from foreign countries and less than half in the domestic scientists. And we need the directors to be fully committed to conduct research over extended period of time, meaning we will support them at least 10 years so they can do really long-term based research. And they have to be capable of performing and managing large-scale research projects. So future plan is that this year, in July, we launched 9 research centers. And we also selected 7 more director candidates and announced it a couple of weeks ago. Out of 7, 3 of them are from foreign countries. They are foreigners, not Korean origin, but really foreigners. And we are hoping to fill about 30% of director position and staff from foreign countries. So we try to attract really top talents from abroad. And we will have a construction of the headquarters building in 2015. And 2017, as I mentioned, we have 50 research centers. And we also complete the rare isotope accelerator in 2017. So in 1986, very famous French intellectual Guy Sormang wrote in his book, The New Wealth of the Nations, this nation was poor after the war. It had a small land, huge population, and no natural resources at all. 80% of citizens were illiterate, and communication with foreigners was impossible. Until 1961, experts said there was no hope for this country. However, it leapt up to rank 9th from 60th out of 74 developing countries in just 25 years. This country is Korea. And we think Korea has an old saying that education is a grand plan for the next 100 years. So training and attracting top talent determine the fate of our nations. I fully agree with the theme of this forum that better education is the best welfare for mankind and people. And this basic research and top talent, fostering top talents for young students is really our main goal, and we have to accomplish that in a successful way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor O. I think a question and those will be afterwards, after the discussion. So I will introduce Dr. Kenji Ueda. He is the Deputy Director of the RIKEN Research Lab in Japan. He graduated at Kyushu University as a molecular biology, and then he had the various important jobs in government and so on. Now he finally settled to RIKEN as Deputy Director. Dr. Ueda, please.
안녕하십니까. So good morning, good afternoon, so everybody. So thank you very much for your kind introduction, Chairman Cho. So my name is Kenji Ueda. I'm Executive Director of RIKEN. So it is my great pleasure and honor to talk about our some activity to develop human resources. So first, please let me introduce RIKEN so very quickly, and then I would like to start my talk about human resources. RIKEN is Japan's leading comprehensive research institute for natural science, covering biology, chemistry, physics, and engineering, and also from basic science to applied science. This is a history. Takamine Jokichi is a well-known biochemistry, and Shibusawa is the first capitalist of Japan, so made a great proposal to government, and in 1917, so RIKEN was established as the first government-based institute, and RIKEN developed rapidly. Almost 20 years later, in 1939, RIKEN formed a kind of industry group, contains 63 companies and more than 100 plants. So after World War II, so RIKEN re-established as a basic science institute, and Tomonaga and Yukawa is contributed a lot for the nuclear physics. And Nishina was a great mentor for them. And from 2003, Noyori Ryoji is a prominent chemistry. He is now leading RIKEN as an independent administrative institution. So present initiatives are shown here. Visibility of RIKEN. So global awareness is very important. And to maintain RIKEN's outstanding history of achievement is very important thing. And so we are very keen to motivate young researchers, and useful to the world, and the contribution to culture is also very important thing. So there are more than 3,000 people working at RIKEN. we have 7 campuses. 2 are small, Sendai, Nagoya, so written in red letters. So both 2 are so branch. And Tokyo area, we have 3 campus. One is Tsukuba, 1 hour train from Tokyo. So we have a bioresource center. And Yokohama campus has 6 different biology-related institute. And also in Wako, 40 minutes from Tokyo, we have a headquarters and 3 different institute. And we also start the Innovation Cluster Center. In Osaka area, we have Kobe campus. So Center for Developmental Biology is very well known for the embryonic stem cell research. And also Supercomputer K is located in this campus. 1 hour drive from Kobe, we have a Harima Institute. So we have 2 big infrastructure. The name is Spring 8 and Sakura. So this slide shows the revenue and expenditure. 19,000 million yen, so more than 90% budget is coming from government. And out of them, so 30% of the budget is used for the construction of large facility and operation of large facility. For example, K-Computer and Sakura. So this slide shows RIKEN's missions. So open up new field of research is a big mission for us. And as I told you, and very important things, to construct and operate a top quality research infrastructure. And the training of young personnel is one of the most important things, and return the result of the research to society. We are now promoting collaboration with industry. This slide shows a recent outstanding scientific discovery and application, and also a state-of-the-art infrastructure. Top left show the successful synthesis of element 113 achieved through a new decay chain. So this scientific work is close relation to the nuclear physics. And the top right is a 3-dimensional retinal tissue successfully created from the human embryonic stem cell. And so left bottom shows world's shortest X-ray free electron laser emitted by Sakura. And bottom right show the world-class high-performance supercomputer, which achieves 10 petaflops and also efficiency ratio more than 93%. This machine is constructed by collaboration with RIKEN and Japanese electrical company Fujitsu. So this shows the flow of technology transfer. So we are very strong in for the basic science, but also we are moving to innovation sector. So blue arrows show the scientific road. Discovery lead to creation of academic value. On the contrary, so red arrow is innovation road. Some new technology can be created by some discovery, and this kind of new technology should be transferred to society and industry. So we call this transfer region button zone. And so we are taking several actions to promote the collaboration with the industry. For example, 2007, June, almost 5 years ago, we started Olympus Collaboration Center. Olympus is a microscope machine company, and also a Toyota Collaboration Center. And this year also we started pharmaceutical company Takeda Collaboration Center. Okay, so I'd like to start my talk about human resources. The title is Cultivating and Diversifying Human Resources. Today I'd like to pick up 4 points. Career path for researchers and women and foreign personnel, and cultivating young researcher and outreach effort. So first topics. So this slide shows our standard career path for the researchers. Postdoctoral researcher will be very active in wider range of field, and some people are moved to new field, administrative staff, science writer, and sometimes a patent engineering. And staff researcher is a specialist, so they are very strong in the special science field. And some of them to promote it to young PI. Young PI is leading so their own team, and also they are autonomous and independent. And some people, several years later, they are moving to university or other institution. And core PI is, so many core PI has tenure, and sometimes they are leading a fairly big group, 30 or 40 people, and they are playing a key role in RIKEN. So they share a responsibility in scientific governance in RIKEN. So this is a very typical way of career path. And this slide shows a training program on research ethics and compliance, because we had one big problem several years ago, so regarding the use of public fund. So we started this program, lecture program, 2005 to 2009. So we organized several lectures to prevent research in misconduct. So typical content are shown here: laboratory management and the proper use of public funds to measure content. So from last year, we started PI, Principal Investigator training, as a mandatory lecture. So this program is very helpful for PI to promote their laboratory management skill and research integrity skill. And this lecture, first, President Noyori gave a speech, and almost one day, lecture style. And anyway, this is a new trial for us. And also we are starting other education system. For example, we started the distribution of the compliance booklet for manager, and we start the e-learning system. So I'd like to move second topics, women and foreign personnel. So this slide shows the total number of RIKEN researchers and the percentage of female researchers and PIs. So from 2006 and from to 2010, so blue box is a permanent researcher, a green fixed term researcher, pink is a permanent administrative staff, and orange is a fixed term administrative staff. And total number is almost 3,000, not so big change. And the blue line shows the female researcher at RIKEN percentage is around 18%. And the contrary, dotted line shows the female researcher in Japan, so a little bit lower, around 14%. On the contrary, female principal investigator, PI at RIKEN are a bit lower, at most 10 and average 8 and 9. So also this is data for female personnel. So this slide shows the number of female PIs among newly hired PIs. In case of 2008, so 3 females was hired out of total 31 people. In 2010, 2 out of 28. So in first 3 total years, 7 women was hired and out of 76 possible position. So that means the percentage is almost 10%. And however, so last year, advisory committee strongly recommend to us 1/4 of PI should be female. So that means that 25%. So we have to do new trial to open windows for female PIs. Okay. Also, this is data related to the female. So a percentage of Japanese women with doctoral degrees, and left column is a doctoral degree earner in fiscal year 2002. And for example, is science means basic science. So 5 different category: mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, others, and applied science, engineering, agriculture, medicine. So anyway, bottom is total average 19%. In the case of 2010, 23. So during these 8 years, we got a significant increase. We got a significant increase in this doctoral degree female case. So RIKEN 2010 has shown the right column. So RIKEN is very strong in basic science and not so strong in the applied science. So in case of science, for example, chemistry and biology and others are almost the same, but engineering a little bit low, and also especially on medicine, field is very low, and average is 17. So this shows our effort to create a comfortable research environment. So we offer support systems for pregnancy, childbirth, and child care, and family cares. So 2004, we opened children's school in Wako, and then 2009, we start RIKEN Kids Yokohama, and last year we opened the Kobe children's school. And so small figures show that the RIKEN personnel who have taken childbirth and child care leaves. So 2000, this point is nothing. After 10 years, so we are significant increase of the female personnel to use this system. And for example, female employees can work at home or change their work schedule during the first 6 months after childbirth. This system is very good for women. Okay, I'd like to talk about a little bit internationalization. This pie chart shows the scientists from overseas. So more than, total is now 600 people. So more than 50 are from Asia. China is first position, 133 people, and Korea took a second position. Now is 86 people working in RIKEN. So we are trying to raise global awareness of RIKEN. So publication, representative publication in the RIKEN research. So we are using online journal and also a printed matter. And we are trying to participate in overseas events. So representative one is AAA's annual meeting and Euroscience Open Forum. So this slide shows our overseas facilities and international collaboration. In United States, we have two, MIT Center and also BNL Research Center. In Europe, we have one UK and Institute Pasteur, and also we have a research center, a joint research center in Germany. And in Asia, we have several representative office, Singapore office and Beijing office, and also started our collaboration in Malaysia. And so, of course, we have two collaboration research center in between Korea and Japan. And this is an institution, sorry, very crowded picture, institution with which we have concluded comprehensive cooperation agreement. So very old one is colored in by blue. So Chinese Academy of Science, we have a very long collaboration. This year is a 30 years anniversary. And the new one is the University of Liverpool and also McGill. And we are newly concluded this agreement with Seoul National University. And in case of Korean and between Korea and Japan, we have 4 agreements. So, and also this is this slide shows enhancing RIKEN's visibility through the present activity. So, in these 3 years, President travels a lot to give a talk and communicate to other institutes. As shown here, many countries. So President visited, and so we start the collaboration and also opinion exchange. Okay, so many researchers have a lot of chance to communicate with foreign people, but administration people don't have so much to communicate with foreign people. So we are promoting a new system. So this shows the current state of the effort for internationalization, especially for administration people. So we are sending the staff to work and study abroad. For example, overseas office and also international organization. And so very rare case, but we are sending the foreign company. And to study English, we are sending several people to go abroad. And also we established new department for translation and language support, because translation of administrative documents now is almost 3,000 per year. So that's why we established a new department. And I'd like to move the third topics, young researcher. So we have 3 different systems for doctoral student and for postdoctoral researcher, and also young principal investigators. So I'd like to talk a little bit more. So international program associate and also foreign postdoc researcher program. Very sorry, I'll be so small letters. So this is a doctor candidate, RIKEN International Program Associate, we call the IPER. So IPER applicant must be a holder of master's degree and be enrolled as doctoral candidate at the university. And that had signed an agreement with RIKEN to participate in the joint graduate school program. Because RIKEN is not the university, we are now making this agreement with university. For postdoctoral research program is we call the FPR, Foreign Postdoc Research. So the applicant should have no more than 5 years postdoctoral research experience. And it depends on the case, but we are annual research budget of the approximately 1 million yen is allocated to the laboratory for the FPRs. And we have three different nurturing junior researchers. So the first one is monthly get-together, because young researcher enter into the laboratory, so working has no chance to communicate to other people. So we gather monthly and get together. So meeting we started, and also once, twice a month, we also organize annual research report session. And once a year, we organize Noyori summer school, so 2 days trip. And so this summer school is very good opportunity for know each other and also communicate each other. So I'd like to explain a little bit the Brain Science Institute, one of the prominent institute. And this institute is, for example, 80% of non-Japanese laboratory head is most internationality. Internationalization is the most, so they are heading in this issue. And there are several systems, BSI, but most important program is the summer program, annual. So summer program, we have two kinds of program, internship and lecture. This program is a fairly long 2-month course, and the other one is the lecture course and 2 weeks. So, and young PI and researcher gave a lot of lecture and training, and so up to now is 574 young researchers attended this program, and applicant is a lot, and more than 2,000 people. I think this is one of the successful summer program for us. Okay, so creating the comfortable working environment for foreigner. So we Life at RIKEN website we started. So and established the help desk, and we started the Japanese classes. And okay, so I'd like to move the last outreach effort. So first, I'd like to introduce RIKEN outreach. This is the 3 different published pamphlets, annual report, and RIKEN news. And also you are using RIKEN website, mobile website, and YouTube. And we can distribute a monthly email magazine to many people. And this shows the exhibition at RIKEN Wako campus. In Wako campus, we have 3 different gallery. Research gallery is the main one. And also we have a historical material room, and also BSI has own brain box exhibition hall. And CDB also has exhibition space. And number of RIKEN campus visitors, total is 2,000 people, because every campus organize 1-day open days once a year. So now it's many people, surrounding people is coming. And also we have exhibition outside RIKEN in Tokyo and Kobe and Tsukuba. Okay, so conveying the fun and important science is very to public is very important. So, and as I told you, return the result to the public is very important for the researcher. So in case of science lecture, core PI class gave a talk and discussion. And in case of RIKEN science seminar, so much younger PI is discussing, and is a place to discuss with audience. And also summer science camp is, this is a snapshot of this year's President Noyori is talking with a high school student. So this is for high school students camp. Okay, so I'd like to summarize my talk today. I talked 4 different points, and regarding career path for researcher, I think brain circulation is very, very important. So staying at the same place for a long time is not so promising for development of young people. So I think career development system and also education system should work together to promote this kind of brain circulation. So regarding women and foreign personnel, so we are still fighting. It's not so easy problem. And so we have to find the barriers and remove them. So this is a way. And maybe we need some target setting. And regarding young researcher, I think a young researcher practically playing the key role in institute. So in order to nurture young researcher with independent mind and autonomous mind, also very active in the wide range of fields. So that's so we should establish the best nurture program. So finally, I'd like to add one point. So as I told you, return the result to the society is very important. So I think especially PI, people should contribute to public relations. So finally, please let me express my great thanks to Chair Cho and President O for my invitation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oh. I think we can begin now discussion. We have 3 excellent discussants, Dr. Kim and Dr. Lee and Dr. Detlef. I think we can start with Dr. Kim first.
Good afternoon. So you heard from the government side and national lab side. So let me give a brief kind of presentation from the university side. I'm the president of PostTech. I came back to Korea last September after 35 years overseas. So future global leaders in science and technology. Universities around the world are facing a crisis, deep crisis. It's an exciting time, but it's a very dangerous time. So in case of crisis, what we do typically is we need to go back to basics. We need to go back to basics, and we have to ask a question: what is the mission of research university? And in my opinion, number 1 mission is education. Produce well-educated and trained future global leaders in our students, in our graduates. And then, close second is performing leading and pioneering research. And third one is the translation of our research to industry, so our research result can benefit the humanity. And fourth is serving the nation and humanity through education, research, and translation. And for the future generation, for Korea to be an advanced nation and excel in science, basic science, we have to do this. Right now, we are emphasizing too much on research in universities, neglecting education. I'm not saying research is not important. We need to balance research and education, and we need to produce our graduates who can become global leaders in 10, 20, 30 years. And what I am most surprised in Korea in the last 14 months as president of PostTech is how difficult it is to do interdisciplinary research. They all talk about collaboration and interdisciplinary research, but in practice, when I see it closely, it doesn't happen that frequently. To do strong science, if we are a strong nation in science, we have to do interdisciplinary research and collaboration. And there are barriers to open and collaborative research. Still, there is a strong cubicle culture and silo mentality. We have to break it down for basic science and engineering to advance. And I sat down one day, a couple of months ago, to analyze what are the causes of the difficulty in collaboration and interdisciplinary research. And I listed them all, and we are now implementing how to promote this interdisciplinary research and education and collaboration in post-tech and with other institutions. So, what is the purpose of education? I think this is right here. Fostering future global leaders. When they graduate, they are not leaders, but they should have all the potentials and ingredient to become a future global leaders after 20 years. So, what are the basics? The knowledge. So intelligence, but they should have character. They should have integrity. Now, for them to be global leaders in 20 years, they should be inspired by faculty members. And they should be motivated by faculty members and universities. So faculty members need to change from just classroom lecture deliverer to mentor, advisor, counselor, coach, cheerleader, and creativity, curiosity, risk-taking. They should not be afraid of making mistakes and fail. And communication skill and internationality or internationalization is critically important in science and engineering. Collaboration, they need to learn how to collaborate because in solving a big problem in the 21st century, one discipline cannot solve it. We have to work together. Teamwork and people skill, and then entrepreneurship, management, and leadership skill. Education investment is a long-term investment. The effects of the investment will not show up in 2-3 years. It will show up in 20-30 years. So, in terms of, let's say, the innovation and pioneer, leader and pioneer, how to become one? I go around the country giving lectures in high schools and universities, and I tell them in one word, to be an innovator and leader, you become salmon or Yanagadera. Why? Salmon swim against the mainstream. It's difficult. It's risky. It's very dangerous. And it's lonely because all other people are going with the stream, but you have to go against the stream. And when it becomes the water, the depth becomes shallow, they have to go over this rock. And when you catch salmon at the end, they are full of wounds on their body. And what happens when salmon face the waterfall? They try to jump over the waterfall. They fly, literally they fly. In spite of this kind of danger. So salmon is an inherent risk taker. To be a leader, you have to take the risk. You should not be afraid of making mistakes or failing. But a bear cannot eat salmon infinitely. After 10 or 15 salmon, the bear needs to go and sleep. And when bear is not around, salmon flies over, jump over the waterfall. Now, you will be called the leader and pioneer. Because you took the risk, you went through the lonely and difficult road, and you succeeded. Now, you open up a new frontier, and you become a leader in that new frontier. So our young people should have that kind of courage and confidence and then competence. So I give them this kind of advice to young students. How to live a life to the fullest, or how to live your life to the fullest. Aim high. You should aim high, really high. And dream dreams and develop a vision. And once you have a lofty dream and goal, work toward it with passion for 10, 20, 30 years. Failures will come. I guarantee it. Failures will come. And challenges will come. But failures and challenges are essential step for you to get to that lofty dream. And so work hard with passion for 10, 20, 30 years. The world should be your stage. Don't limit your stage to Korea. World should be your stage. And dare to be different. This is similar to Become Salmon or Yonagadera. Don't be afraid of being different from others. To be a leader, to be a pioneer, you should challenge the status quo. And learn from failures rather than being discouraged. Because young people tend to be discouraged too easily. Young people should consider failures as I have a potential to become a leader. Because leaders fail more often. Mostly they fail. And communication skills, people skills, management and leadership skills are important for your future success. And with honesty, integrity, and professionalism, earn trust and respect from your colleagues. And then learn from the history. There are a lot of lessons, good lessons in history and books, and even movies. Learn from them. And then do the best you can in the present. Do not regret. And future is uncertain. Many people are fearful of the future. But the best way to handle that uncertain future is create your own future with your own hands. So in conclusion, the research universities need to produce the graduate who will become future global leaders in 20, 30 years, and maybe 20 years in global leaders, and Nobel Prize winner in 30 years. And those graduates who can tackle important and difficult problems. And education is a long-term investment. In spite of that, we should invest in it. And now, tomorrow's breakthrough and solutions, all these IT breakthroughs and solutions, and healthcare breakthrough and solutions, are typically made possible by today's advances in basic science. What that means is the fruits of basic science investment will come 20, 30 years later. It will not come in 5 years. It will be difficult to expect something significant in 10 years. It will be 20, 30 years. So we should invest and keep investing it, and have patience and persistence. And research excellence, going for the excellence, even though it's difficult. Risk-taking and creativity can lead to innovation and breakthrough technologies and generate solutions to the grand challenges and the great industry as well. And it takes multidisciplinary approaches. Multidisciplinary is the key. Collaboration is another key. Partnership is another key. And patience and persistence, because everything takes a long time. Education, basic science, the fruits from the basic science investment, and commercialization takes a long time. So we should work hard and have fun, but and invest for the 10, 20, 30 years in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kim. I think next we'll hear about industrial aspect from Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee did electrical engineering PhD from Stanford also, so I think he has a mixture of science and technology and industry. Welcome.
Good afternoon. As introduced, my name is Higuk Lee. I work at LG. And by now, you clearly recognize that I'm the only person from industry in this group of people. And to begin with, I have to tell you that I did not prepare a set of slides because I was told it'll be very brief. I was just thinking that I will make a few statements. Although I have prepared the small manuscript and I provided it to the translator. After hearing good presentations before me, I had to change what I am going to speak. So I really hope that the translator, but I know she's very capable, so she can follow me fairly easily. Now, the stories we heard so far are these. Dr. Oh introduced you the very new challenges and effort by the Korean government, how we will support the basic research. Finally, after so many years, that we will put a lot of budget and we'll select the great research leaders so that in Korea we will have much better environment, encouraging basic research. We also heard very good presentation from Dr. Oeda about the status and the activity in RIKEN, the world-renowned research institute in Japan. And I could see that there are really a lot of efforts have put in to this renowned institute. Not only the great research environment, but also a lot of the detailed considerations put in how to make researchers be happy, or the good working environment, very considerate things there. Also emphasized women researchers, talked about international collaborations and so forth. Then Dr. Kim, President Kim, made a very impressive and good point in emphasizing the education compared to research, and emphasized education should be the primary goal of universities, and also gave you a very, very important message: be a salmon. Okay? Now, as a person coming from the industry, I actually kept asking myself over the last few weeks, what should I talk about? It wasn't very clear. But I guess I'm going to tell you a quick statement. Basically, what we really expect from the industry point of view. Now, if you look at the banner over there, it has a good statement: better education, the best welfare. Basically, I think you and I understand what it really means. Good education will prepare the student so that he would have much better opportunity, he would be much better prepared to be successful in his career, wherever it may be, in a research institute, in universities, or maybe in an industry. But the question is, what is a good education? How do we know? How do we know that this will be the good education to guarantee this student to be very successful? And that is really the dilemma. Because in any nation, the vitality and the success of industrial companies are crucial so that they can continue supply many good job opportunities, job openings for graduating students, right? So what would be the desired qualification of scientists and engineers who would become new employees in such industries? And that's basically the question. What should be educated to these people? Now, most of us keep hearing the common sense that a nation would be, we really need a good scientific and engineering capabilities in order to create and support competitive industries. That is really true. We cannot talk against that. Then the question is, having good universities and having good public research institutes, is that sufficient to guarantee that you will have great industries? you will have great companies in Korea and continue to supply many good jobs. And I don't have to tell you the example of many things happening in the world, that the greatest companies in the world in this decade or last decade, who were the leaders in the industry, everybody were really respecting them, overnight became a failure, and they had to cut 10,000 job positions. And that's happening in many places of the world. And the question is, what happened to the good scientists and engineers working in the company? Did they all go away? No, they still continue working there. And why suddenly such a great company having so good scientists and engineers suddenly went from success to failure? Well, that's a long story. I cannot cover it within the next few minutes, but the real keyword is the innovation capability. That is the ingredient which should play an active role to build up and support successful industries. Innovation, we all keep hearing innovation, sure. Maybe we hear about it too much. But problem is people talk it and without sometimes not clearly understanding what that means. Innovation from an industrial point of view is a process to create significant practical value in products and services so that such products and services are favorably chosen by the consumers, by the customers in the marketplace, and the company can compete very successfully in the market. That's a well-known statement. But the key words or the key concepts of innovation is really the value creation, the insight to identify true value opportunities, and a lot of invention activities to support the insight to become the realities in the marketplace, and then the cultural aspects or cultural attributes such as the passion, the teamwork, participation, and perspiration, which some of the concepts that President Kim has mentioned before me. So these are the key attributes to convert the concepts to create products and services that are successful in the market. So, of course, we need great science and we need great technology, but we also need great innovation. Now, many of you will be asking, oh, okay, how do we learn how to innovate? Where do we learn about innovation? But some of the key concepts I talked about are, I would say it's really common sense. And wherever you are positioned in the industry, you will be faced with a lot of challenges in the marketplace. And you always have to ask yourself, what should I do now to overcome these challenges or difficulties or this competition? And the innovation is the process that you will go through to survive and thrive in the marketplace. And people in the industry, like myself, are always being challenged. What should we do next? Success this year doesn't guarantee that we will be successful next year, as we continue to see in the global marketplace. So we really are always very, very sensitive and very worried about how can we continue to innovate and how can we prepare the students in the universities to be prepared for such concept so that they would have a great opportunities in the societies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. I think next will be Dr. Detlef. She's not only academic, but I think she experienced a great deal in the Western academics, research lab like the Max Planck Institute, I think Korea tried to sort of imitate or follow like Max Planck formula. So I think it would be very interesting to hear from her what she thinks and what she
May I
like
start from here?
I think you can say it.
Okay. Welcome to the last session in this course. It's very late. But I wanted to address some keywords. And we had already today or tonight, this evening, we heard many keywords like communication, collaboration, cooperation, and internationality. Internationality in networking in science and technology. That's very important. I am participating in a very important program, so-called World Class University. It started already a couple of years ago. It means Korea and Korean government already recognize the needs for changing the education, how to get better educated students, better prepared for getting a good job, better prepared to be leaders. But also, world class means better scientific output. So, efforts in teaching, efforts in training, efforts in scientific paper, high rank papers are expected. Let me first compare the science in Korea and the science of Germany or the science in Max Planck Institute, where I worked before I came to Korea. Max Planck Society is a special organization for science. Special organization, it means there are many institutes under this umbrella of Max Planck Society, and most of them are doing basic research. Like we have today here about RECON and about the new established Institute for Basic Science. That's a great idea. That's a new concept, and we have to follow it. Max Planck Society is a benchmark for Korea. It's a model. And this model is easy to be copied. We can, in Korea, we can use the experience of Max Planck Society. And that's what I think was behind the establishment of this Institute of Basic Science. Now, I wanted to address some, or share with you my experience, what I collect during the past couple of years, being in Korea, living in Korea, interacting with Korean students, teaching Korean students, and interacting with my Korean colleagues, Korean professor, being in the same university and cooperating with me. So there are some critical points which I would like to address. Just for you, young scientist, young student, graduate student, or any other scientist already involved in creation of science. So the first point, what I realize as a foreigner being in Korea, is that Korean students are not trained in discussion. Did you realize it? Are not trained. It means they are not asking questions. Why? Because they are afraid that the question could be stupid. But I tell my students, there are no stupid questions. They are just stupid answers if the professor is not able to answer the questions. Why it is? I realize this problem, it's a very Korean problem. I never have this problem with any Asiatic students. For example, Chinese students. They are very active, asking questions, participating in the seminars, but the Korean have this problem. And that's due to tradition, Korean tradition, to Korean culture. In Korean culture, the older people and the experienced people are like something special. The students feel to show respect. They will never criticize professor, because professor is the highest authority at the university. But in my opinion, professor is, as we all are, is a partner in education process. It's not like Korean king. So you should also think it's one of us. And I realize this gap between students and professors at the university is very high. If I compare any scientific organization, university, or research institute in Germany, that's one point. The second is the student have no experience in cooperating work in team. It means teamwork. Teamwork is also a very important work, teamwork. What I experienced was the students are not communicating, are not exchanging the information because they are afraid. They want to compete, and the competition is a very strong pronoun in Korea. It started already in the kindergarten. Every child will want to be the best. But the competition is the wrong. It's good in technology, but not in education, not in learning process. Better is to collaborate, go together. And there is a very nice sentence. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to achieve a success, you will go further than go together. That's a message for students. But the competition is even much stronger pronounced at the professor levels. I am involved in a consortium working on the same project, but there is no communication between these professors. They don't cooperate. When two Western professors meet to have a glass of beer or meet for coffee, they always start to tell about their work. They take a napkin and driving some curves and explaining enthusiastic what I'm doing. That's not the case if two Korean professors meet late Friday for beer, for having a beer. They will never talk about their own work. That's strange. But that's my personal experience. Another topic is, during our experimental meeting, we discuss always what is new, and I was asking a very trivial question to one of my colleagues, professor involved in the same consortium. And he told me, oh, I cannot answer this question because it's confidential. So what does it mean, confidential? We are already one group, and we have to collaborate. We have to exchange information. That's our goal. That's the purpose, that's the objective of our project. That's another point. So the lack of communication at any level of education, at the student's level, at the professor level. International collaboration. We heard during this forum many times. But local Korean professors are very hard to be convinced for international work, for international cooperation. I tried many times, and that's a really hard job. I try to create an internationally working network of research involving some research institution in Germany, in Swiss, in France, to create better scientific output. It's easy to take a partner who has already experience, whatever it is, then try step by step, develop some methods, and finally the results are already published because the way is much longer. Language skills are very important. So we have to take care. And maybe government is responsible to create these language skills. English is the language of science. And I also have experience that some of my students very hardly follow my English lectures. So they need help. There must be more efforts to support students in language skills. Low efficiency in teaching was already addressed many times. So when I have exam in my field, I usually see that the students just memorize sentence by sentence, not all, but many. Even the whole paragraphs. They memorize, they learn only for exam, not for life. They learn only for this event, to have a good grade, but forget everything what they learn next day. So that's also a point we have to take into account. So developed better qualified students, graduate students, changing from quantity to quality. Another point is when a student tries to negotiate with me the final grade. He wanted to have A+, very typical Korean. Wanted to have A+, but I give him B+. B+ is also a good grade. But then I was asking him why he want to have A+. And the answer was, because I promised to my father. Next point, missing trust in scientists. What I experienced during my work, almost 4 years' work, that the administration officers control scientists. In Max Planck Institute, there is no bureaucracy, or only very, very small. But at Max Planck Institute, the scientists are telling the bureaucrats what they have to do, not opposite. And here, the professors are overloaded with paper work, what is actually not necessary. Overload. So this time I should use for completely different work, for my science. The last point, in many engineering departments and schools, there are some professors which are recruited from industry. That's fine. But these professors are bringing some kind of military skills, treated students like in the military, with the same methods and the same rules. And that's really bad. They have a big experience in technology, but very low experience in dissipation of knowledge. They actually don't know how to do it. There is lack of communication, what I already mentioned. But much important is we cannot create new idea. We cannot create new concept under pressure, on command. That's all what I wanted to address, and giving you some material for thinking how we all, me as professor, me as academic teacher, and university as a place where for better education, what can we do to improve it, to achieve our goal, and the goal is better education for a new generation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Detra. I think that's all positive criticism, which we often hear from foreigners, and I think we should correct as much as possible. I guess those are more globalization might help to solve those things. So hope that will happen soon. Thank you very much again, Dr. Oh and Dr. Ueda and Dr. Kim and Dr. Lee and Dr. Detlef. I hope this gives you good meeting today. I hope you have learned, all of you have learned something. I hope we have some time to discuss, but since they just sent a message that at the track B, they have a wrap-up session is going on. So we have to finish this one. Thank you very much, all of you.
Overdrawn.